What is up, everyone? Back with a Game of Thrones Season 7 review. I'm going to do this sort of mullet style where I'm going to talk about just my general consensus, what I thought in the beginning, and then toward the end, I'll start talking more about spoilers. So I'll make sure that I say something being like, okay, I'm going to talk about spoilers. So any of you who haven't watched it, I don't even know what you're doing here, but go watch it and then come back. But this season had a lot to really deliver because we've been following this show for quite a while. There are so many moving parts that lead to what this season basically had promised, where it was, Daenerys coming over to Westeros at the end of season 6, and then, basically Jon becoming the King of the North, and Cersei is the Mad Queen or Queen of King's Landing. And basically, it's going to be all out war. And that's pretty much what season 7 was. I mean, there was a lot of... it still had a lot of the banter that we all love, the drama talking between... the thing I found the most interesting was actually Daenerys and Tyrion's dynamic. Because Tyrion, even though he's extremely smart, he lacks in battle experience. And it showed that quite a bit. There was... I think, overall, this season really delivered. I think the penultimate episode, which is, the episode before the finale, had a couple hiccups, but I think those hiccups may actually be due to unexplained things, which I'll go into when it comes to spoiler territory, talk a little bit about theory and whatever else. But basically, yeah, I was extremely satisfied with this season. There was a bit of a shift in some of the dialogue. You can definitely tell that George R. R. Martin is not writing this season because, or they're not, pulling from the books because it felt a little bit more Hollywood, and that's okay. That's fine because, where we're at in the story right now isn't really. I don't think has a lot to do with moving the chess pieces in terms of drama. I think it's a lot of it is divide and conquer battle, just all out mayhem going everywhere. And that's pretty much what happened. There were definitely some surprises this season I didn't see. It's really hard to talk about this without going into spoilers, but basically, if you're a Game of Thrones fan and you haven't seen season 7 yet, definitely go give that a watch. I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. I'd say that it lacked in the areas that we typically expect from Game of Thrones, where, the one thing that we all love about it is that anyone can die at any minute. And that still had us on the edge of our seat, especially in a few different moments. Like there was episode 4 and episode 6 where I was particularly feeling that. I'm not going to tell you yet what, who those characters were, but yeah, there were definitely, I was on the edge of my seat a few times. But I imagine they're saving that for the final season because in the final season, people are probably going to be dropping like flies. It's going to be insane. The Army of the Dead's going to be south, and okay, there's the beginning of the spoiler because that's essentially something that happens. Okay, so spoiler talk. This season, there was. I was a little bit set back by Jon and Daenerys actually hooking up. That was something at the end, in the season finale that I was like, okay, so these two, they finally revealed the lineage, and then they revealed that them two, have fallen in love with each other, have a working relationship. It's going to go into some interesting territory because they said multiple times, especially in episode 6 and 7, Daenerys like, oh, I can't have children. John's like, you sure that witch that told you that in season 1 was a viable source of information? There's a lot of foreshadowing. Jorah handing him Longclaw and saying, let this serve you well and your children after you. So in season 7, I'm predicting Daenerys is going to get pregnant. I don't know where that's going to go. I mean, it could have something to do with the rightful heir of the Iron Throne and everything else. Episode 4 was the big one for me this season because that battle with the Dothraki, the dragon, everything, it was insane. It lacked in the casualty department, like I said. I thought Jaime was going to bite it. I thought that was going to be the end of him, which I would have been a little upset. I mean, it would have been a crazy ending, for his character, but I would have been a little upset because it didn't really come full circle, the whole Mad King thing, and I expect him and Cersei to go out sort of simultaneously, but, I mean, this is Game of Thrones, what do I know? Let's see, yeah, Cersei, she played them in the end. It's going to be really interesting because now that the Night King has a dragon, which I'll get to that in a minute. He's coming south. They got south of the wall, so you've got this army coming from the north, and you've got Cersei Lannister's army coming from the south, and Dany and Jon are more so in the middle, and Euron went to get the Golden Company. So it's going to be just all hell breaking loose everywhere in the next season, and I can't wait to see it, quite frankly. We're in for a big twist. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I won't go into that because I think that's a pretty lengthy theory for another time. But no, George R. R. Martin promised 3 big twists, and the last one is going to be at the very end of the series. So I really don't know what to expect, how this is all going to wrap up. But like I said, I'm very excited to see it. In the finale, Littlefinger's death was a riot. Like, that was something that we'd all been waiting for a long time, and I thought it was pretty poetic how all that happened. I was kind of hoping that him and Varys would maybe have one more little back and forth, before that would happen, maybe via Raven or something along that line. I don't know, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But in the same way, it was still poetic because he was always pursuing Catelyn, and now Sansa, who the one he was in love with, was the one who ended him. Okay, the hiccups. The hiccups for this season comes from episode 6. And first of all, I thought Tormund was a goner. I was like, oh god, no. Like, this is... it almost killed me. But fortunately, he survived the situation. So when the White Walkers showed up, first off, when Bran saw him when Bran saw the Night King through the Raven's eyes in episode, I think it was 3, they were standing on that same island where Jon and everyone else got trapped. And, that one little island in the middle of the lake, like, it's extremely, it's like verbatim. Like, if you put them side by side, they're the exact same thing. So, and it's obvious that the Night King has visions because he's always aware of Bran. So I'm pretty sure that, like I said, I'm pretty sure the Night King has visions. I do believe that was a dragon trap because they used the dragon to get south of the wall. And they were marching on the wall anyway, so how are they going to get south of it, without the dragon? It just didn't... it was too convenient writing, and I don't believe Game of Thrones would do that. So I think that... I definitely think that was a dragon trap, because those, White Walkers, when they showed up, they were just standing there, they were sitting there waiting, and we'd never seen White Walkers with javelins and big javelins like that. And they were just sitting there waiting with them. And as soon as the dragon showed up, that's when the Night King made his move, killed the dragon. I mean, I don't know how they pulled the chains around him and pulled him out of the water. Could have been like the monkey in a barrel thing, where like a bunch of them just got in the water and then pulled each other up and stuff. I mean, some of them were crawling out of the water when they were pulling Tormund down, so maybe they can't swim, but they can still operate under the water. I don't know how that works. But I mean, they're just minor hiccups. I think that Jon was kind of procrastinating, or I don't know what he was doing, maybe being a showboat or something, because I think that he could have jumped on the back of that dragon. They could have skied out of there pretty quick. But like I said, minor hiccups, minor complaints. Overall, the season really delivered. I'm typically not one to look over minor details, but for the moments that the season delivered, I was very pleased. Very excited to see what they do with season 7. And that's essentially my thoughts on it. I think that if it ends well, it could be one of the greatest shows of all time. So, hold my breath to find out. I think it's going to be either, probably December 2018 to January 2019 is probably the release date I think we're looking at. So we'll see how it all plays out. But yeah, my general overview of the season whatsoever, I give it 8.5 out of 10. If not a 9, I'll stick with 8.5 just for the minor hiccups until they explain that those things were actually the Night King had planned that. Because otherwise that was just convenient writing. I don't know if I could buy that quite as much, but till then, we'll see. Thank you guys for giving this a watch. If you liked my review, hit the like button, subscribe, share, and let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you all next time.